Hey everyone, my name is Catherine Rule. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over how to do a large scale fold. So sometimes when I'm teaching workshops, people ask me about dyeing something really big, like a duvet or a blanket or yardage for a quilt back, or yardage for a pattern that they want to cut out. This pattern behind me is a really great pattern for large pieces of fabric. This fabric behind me is about 80 inches by 80 inches, and the fold can work for even bigger pieces of fabric if you have one. So anyway, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it and how to dip it and everything like that. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more dyeing videos. Thanks so much for watching, and let's get started.
So first you're going to need some 100% cellulose fiber fabric, such as cotton, rayon, or linen. Those are really good for pre-reduced indigo. You're going to need an iron for ironing, an ironing board, or something to iron your fabric on, rubber bands for tying it up, a bucket to mix up your vat, and drop cloth to keep your work area clean, a stir stick to stir your vat. It will totally get covered in indigo, pre-reduced indigo, soda ash, and I like to use thiox for my vats. I will put links for all of these supplies down in the description below. And of course, a drying rack will really help when you are drying. And cinder cloth. I have pre-washed this fabric, and I'm going to iron it after it comes out of the dryer to make sure it's nice and smooth.
All right, so I have this piece of fabric completely ironed, and it's been pre-washed, which is always good when we're doing dyeing. And as you can see, it's huge. So some patterns are better to do for big pieces of fabric, and some are better to do for small pieces of fabric. So this is going to be one that I like to do for big pieces of fabric. And so if you're a quilter, or you want to like dye yardage or upcycle some big piece of fabric that has a stain and you want to dye it, this is a great fold for it.
So I am going to start by folding it in half, hamburger style. And you can see I'm just taking my time to make sure it's nice and smooth. That's the thing about working with really big pieces. It just takes a lot longer to make sure that it's not bunching up and you are smoothing it out. And then I'm going to fold it into quarters and just make sure it's nice and smooth. So fun fact, my first Shibori project ever was a huge quilt, and I didn't really have any concept of how big it was and how that might be difficult to dye. And it was a huge mess, and it took 3 days for it to dry. So if you are doing a big piece, make sure to really have a drop cloth to make sure it doesn't make a huge mess in your dyeing space. So I am now folding it handkerchief style, so corner to corner, like in a diagonal, and I'm going to accordion fold it like this, back and forth into a long skinny rectangle. And just like before, I'm just taking my time to smooth it out. And with this fold, it always gets thicker in the middle, and it's thinner towards the ends. So now the first half is accordion folded, and I'm going to flip it over to do the other half. And I'm just being super careful to not mess up my folds, doing my best. And now I'm going to do the same accordion folding on the other side. And I'm just going to stack it on top of that established rectangle that I have. Besides YouTube, I also teach on Skillshare. I have multiple classes on Skillshare, and I have a beginner's Shibori class for indigo tie-dye where I show you how to mix up the vat and do multiple folds, and I also have an ice dyeing class. You can use the links down below for a 14-day free trial of Skillshare. I love Skillshare, and I think you will too. So after I have both sides completely folded, it's time to add the rubber bands, and I'm going to use rubber bands on the sides first to just sort of secure this gigantic rectangle that I have. And then I'm going to do one in the middle, and I want to make sure I am securing right in the middle where the corners touch the edge of the rectangular fold. That's going to be the X in the middle of the fabric, so I want it to be right on the corner. And then I'm going to keep putting rubber bands onto the fabric. You can see I have all them on now, and I'm going to space them out evenly. So each rubber band is going to be another line in the X pattern. So I want them to be about the same width away from each other.
Okay, so it's time to dip this one. I feel like I'm holding like a big snake. And I'm going to get the froth off the top of my vat. All right, here we go. In she goes. And I think this is like a bamboo cotton blend. So it has a lot of drape. It's a really pretty fabric. Bubbles off. Okay. So, like that. I'm just gonna wring it out. Okay, I'm gonna just take a peek inside here. Oh yeah, so there's quite a lot of variation. That's good. Oh yeah, and there you can see the original blue. So that's nice, I like this. This is good. It has plenty of blue on there for me. Now, I think I'm gonna let this kind of chill out for a little bit. It's huge, right? So it's gonna take out my entire drying rack. So I can even let it sit overnight, or at least a few hours. I'm gonna just keep wringing it out. Hi, now I'm going to dip the large piece that I tied up again. It's been drying on the drying rack, and I'm gonna put it into the vat again. I think this is gonna be a super duper dark blue, which is good. That's what I want. All right, take it out. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit longer before I open it. Okay, so now it's finally ready. And whoa!
So as you can see, this piece is just huge, and it turned out really nice. I got a really nice dark blue color on there, and the contrast of the resist is really pretty. I'm gonna put it on the drying rack to dry for a couple hours, and then I'm gonna rinse it and wash it in the washing machine on hot with Synthropol. Synthropol is really great for indigo dyeing because it prevents the indigo from washing off of the fabric and then re-dyeing the white parts of the fabric when you're washing your freshly Shibori dyed fabric. So I definitely recommend using it, especially with indigo. So I am going to let it dry and then proceed with the laundry. So here it's been washed and dried, and you can see the pattern and the sheer scale of this piece of fabric. The white parts are from the thiox. I think that the thiox actually took away that original light blue color, which is always so interesting to see how Shibori turns out. There's always an element of surprise, which is why it's so exciting. And I think it turned out really cute. I'm going to use it for a quilting project, so stay tuned. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done any large scale Shibori and what you dyed. I'd love to know what you guys are up to. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are into dyeing, upcycling, and sewing. You can follow me on social media at Onyx Art Studios for more inspiration, and you can check out the upcoming dates for my live Shibori workshop and Skillshare videos down in the description below. I'll see you guys next time, and have fun dyeing.